Today, I'm really lucky to get to interview Leah from Our Portuguese Homestead. So you can see these are some of um, her videos.
All right, take 2000. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, finally, I have the video about our new solar system. In this video, I show you how we installed everything, how we built the frame. Maarten mostly did, and then in the end, you get a little bit of a rundown about how big the system is and why we chose the system, why we designed it the way it is. So if you would like to see that, do keep on watching.
So Leah shares her daily life on her farm in Central Portugal with her partner Maarten and her gorgeous little daughter Puck.
Morning, everyone. So today I'm all by myself because Maarten has gone horseback riding with our friends again. So what I'll do today is finish laying down the planks. Yesterday we almost finished, but then it was dinner time. So I have to put down 2 more rows. I have to puzzle to get the right size. Thank you.
So Leah and Maarten are very inspirational. So let's start our interview today. It's very exciting to be able to chat to you. I'm I'm one of your avid fans on your YouTube channel and your Facebook page, and you one of the reasons why I have decided to look in the for a farm in the Castelo Branco area, and your channel and Ken's channel on OK Portugal, because he's also in the Castelo Branco area. So it's very, very exciting to actually be able to see you like this.
Interact.
Yes, yes. So my first question I would like to ask you is, why did you guys choose Portugal and not one of these other cheap European countries like Bulgaria or Romania?
To answer your question about why Portugal and another different region, I think we chose Portugal because we had been here before, and we'd seen the area, and it's just a lovely, welcoming culture here, and we really love that. And yeah, I've been in Hungary before, and they're lovely countries, but the standard of living is quite a bit lower than we're used to, and the language is much harder, and even though the land is very cheap there and people are also lovely, because most people everywhere are lovely, it's also just a little bit farther from the Netherlands as well. So we chose Portugal because it kind of had that family friendly culture that we wanted, and it was still quite accessible, but also the standard of the hospitals and the schools and stuff like that is good enough for us. It's
Oh, no, that's, and I was seeing somewhere that you grew up in, or you spent some years in South Africa.
So I was actually born in Pretoria, and but in '94 we moved back to the Netherlands because both my parents were born there, and as you know, it was quite a troubled period.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was living
my
in
dad being a white
Botswana.
man, he couldn't get a job anymore, so it was reasons to move on.
Yeah, yeah, I was living in Botswana in 1994. I remember that quite, quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Cape Town, so I'm also, South African. And
yeah, most of my family actually still lives in the area, in the Cape Town area, and in Stellenbosch and places like that. All my aunts and uncles, and they still live there, but I only rarely get to go because it's quite far away.
Yeah. Well, that was one reason why I decided to look at Portugal, because it's like really just straight down all the way down to Cape Town.
Yeah.
So you're not having when I lived in China, it was different. You had to take so many different planes, and it was so long to get there, and time zones, so it's easier.
Yeah.
So what made you decide on the Castelo Branco area in Portugal? Because a lot of people prefer the Algarve. So what made you decide on Central Portugal?
Yeah, we actually have, we kind of dislike the Algarve, even though we've never been there. Well, there's a couple things. Land in the Algarve is quite expensive. There's a lot of foreigners moving in there, lots of older expats that have the money to buy there. And so I think the culture is a little bit different there. And because we want to be self-sufficient and looking at the future, the Algarve is already the driest place in Portugal. We thought that here, closer to the mountains and further up north, it might get dry in 100 years, but in the coming decades, it won't be so dry as the Algarve. So that was also a consideration for us, is where can we actually build something that's a little bit sustainable. And the valley that we are in is actually one of the wettest valleys in the whole district. We found out only recently. So yeah, water, when you're looking for land, water is so important, because if you don't want to be on the grid like we, and if you only want, well, I don't think we will ever get a borehole, because then you're tapping into groundwater, and that's also not great always. So looking at wells that are already there is important, and seeing possibilities for rain catchment and stuff like that is a really important consideration if you're looking for land.
Yeah. So the ones that I've been looking at, I've made sure that I'm looking for ones that have water, or like a little stream or something, because because I'm working at a international school here in Norway, and our maths teacher he's got I don't know, he's interesting. I think his father's Dutch, his mother's Portuguese, but he grew up in South Africa. So he's like, yeah. But anyway, so he's been advising me a lot, looking at the descriptions of the farms, and to make sure that I'm going to get something with water.
Yeah.
So your big advice to someone wanting to buy a farm would be to make sure that it's got water on.
Yeah, and then that it's a good well, because lots of wells also go dry at the end of the summer. So really talk to the former owners and see what they say about if it still has water in August, and maybe look at if you're able to look at property in the summer, just look at the well, also look at the neighbor's well, how that's doing, and streams and stuff like that, they can also go dry, because a lot of the time they're connected to the barragem, and in July, August, they will just cut off all the streams and keep all the water in there. So our friends, they do have a stream through their property, but it goes dry in July already. So that's also something to consider. But you could use the stream to catch water in the winter, and then keep it on your property that way.
I'm still hoping that I'm going to be able to get there for the summer holiday. Like I got an email from Lufthansa on Friday night to tell me that my flight on the 20th of June has been cancelled.
Oh, shame.
So I went on to like Lufthansa and I've managed to book another flight for the 19th of June, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll just keep on booking these flights and hopefully I'll eventually get there. So if you need, because I saw like with your well needed a lot of work, and I think your well nearly broke you at one point. But if you're needing outside help for some of your projects, how easy is it for you to get outside help?
Well, here in the area, there's lots of people who can do work, who have machines. There's always someone in the village with a tractor, so if you need something like that, you can just go into the village, maybe go to the shop, see if they know someone. So there's lots of machines around. Enough people that can do manual work. Something we do most of it ourselves, but something that our friends run into is that sometimes it's hard to make good agreements with Portuguese people coming to help you. So if you have a builder around, lots of times they just won't show up, or only 3 days later, or they'll just call you, or but
so the work ethic is a little bit different to the Dutch work ethic.
I don't know if you can say it like that, because there's lots of hardworking Portuguese, but sometimes because here in the area they have so much choice for work, because there's only a couple people doing certain things, that they can just pick and choose where they want to go. And if you're not close enough to them, or well, they have, once they get here, a lot of the time they work really hard. That's not the problem. It's just because they're so swamped for work, they can just pick and choose where they want.
Yeah. So that you actually need more, I suppose, skilled people in the area, so that there's not such a demand on their time.
Yeah, maybe you can say it like that. Yeah. So our friend who does digging work, he's a Dutch guy, but he has a digger, and he has a waiting list for about 9 weeks. So I think that tells you something about how much work there is, and only so many people who can do that stuff.
Because I mean, the farms that I'm looking at, because I'm just a teacher, so I don't have lots and lots of money, but they're all going to require work, and I'm thinking, I'm an old woman, how am I going to manage? Anyway, I'm sure I'll be able to manage. This is what my son keeps worrying about. How I will, and if there's if one can hire people, and maybe as an old woman I might, there might be, let me jump up their list. Maybe, I don't know. If someone is now going to be moving to Portugal, what do you recommend that they bring with them, which might be difficult to get in Portugal?
If you have the possibilities, and this is just something my friends say a lot, bring tools if you already have them, because they can be quite more expensive to get them here. And bring enough money, because if you want to start a project like this, it's always more expensive than you think. So it's good to have a little bit of a buffer, and you can always think of ways to do it for cheap or for free, but that takes a lot more time. So I think you've seen the struggle of are we gonna pay, or are we gonna do it ourselves for cheaper? But a little bit of a buffer is nice, because there's always things that you don't do in the budget.
That certainly comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see you've started like the whole thing with Patreon. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how people can support you on Patreon?
Oh yeah. Well, there's two ways that you can make money through YouTube, and only recently, because I passed the 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm making a couple cents a day on AdSense. So you might have noticed, see ads in front of my videos. That gives me a tiny bit of money, not at all, not even minimum wage for all the work I put in. But that's okay. But if you enjoy my videos and you would like to support them, there's also a platform called Patreon. And over there you can do a one-time donation. That means that you just pay however much you want for 1 month, or you can do a monthly payment. Every little bit helps because we're just still building our different businesses and everything takes time. So yeah, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just find me on Our Portuguese Homestead on Patreon. I'm thinking of, because Patreon, a lot of people also use that to give their patrons some more exclusive content. But I'm still thinking about if I want to do it that way or just keep all the content for free and just put everything on YouTube, and people that want to donate do it.
Watching this, my chateau diaries. You know, these people that fixing up these old chateaus in France, and with their Patreon. Oh my goodness, some of them they're getting quite a lot of money in that they're able to like restore the old chapel on the property and all of that. So hopefully, eventually, that kind of thing will work for you guys as well.
Yeah, because we need a new strimmer. Maarten has been struggling to get it to work again, but yeah, everything is in time.
Yeah, and have you thought of sort of getting like volunteers from Workaway to come on and help on the farm?
Yeah, we thought about it, and because we've done Workaway ourselves when we came to Portugal first, just to check out different areas and see, just meet new families and all that stuff. So we did enjoy it, but it takes a lot of energy to be a host. So we've had, just through word of mouth, we had a couple here a couple of weeks ago, and they volunteered, and they were absolutely lovely. But they also, because they were a couple, and they had a special diet, they really also took a lot of
Time.
privacy time. Well, not time. They were really like happy to just cook their own food and not really come into our space. And I think because we have such a small space as a family, it's sometimes important to protect that. Because even though I do share a lot on YouTube, we are both introverts and like quiet people, and it's good to just to be by yourself. So I don't think we'll ever have a long like volunteer program or something like that. But every now and then, if we have a bigger project, and we have some people that can come over, I think we'll do it like that.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So what would you say would be the biggest challenge that you guys have faced so far?
Time management. There's always so many things on the list. It's really a challenge to make priorities and really think about what do we really need to do now, and what can wait, and yeah, what's really important right now.
And that's always a struggle because the list is 20, 25 things, and every day you see something else that needs to be done. And just not getting overwhelmed by that can be a challenge.
Yeah, you might need to sort of set up like a big whiteboard where you put your jobs. I've seen some of these homestead, I like you, I also watch all these homestead channels, and I see on some of them they have these like whiteboards up or a chalkboard up where they put down their focus for each day. So that might help a little bit.
Yeah, we recently got a little whiteboard, but
yeah.
But
I suppose with all the jobs you need, a little whiteboard might not be big enough.
Yeah.
And what would you say would be your biggest success that you've achieved so far? What are you most proud of?
The garden. I had not really ever gardened before, and right now if I walk through the garden and yesterday I saw the first little tomato. That's just really exciting to me, and just digging up potatoes, and because last year we kind of had a false start because we were so late in the season, and now we did a lot more prep work on the beds and on the soil, and I'm proud of myself that it's going quite well now.
Let's see, you're definitely going to be able to feed yourselves from your farm. I can see that.
Yes, especially with vegetables, and we're not on the self-sufficiency level yet. Maybe never, but definitely all the vegetables.
Yeah. I see she's practicing her building skills over there.
Yeah, she has a little hammer, and she's busy.
So what would you say, what would your top 3 tips be for someone who's wanting to start an off-grid farm in Portugal? What would your top 3 tips be?
Be realistic about what you can manage and what you can afford, because sometimes I see people, they have a big dream but no way of getting there, or they're not realistic about the market that's here, because here there are not many customers for expensive products. So really be realistic about what you can manage. We're a young family, even though Pug takes a lot of time. We're still young, we're strong, we're healthy, so we can really do all this really heavy duty stuff. And maybe for you, because you're a little bit older, something a little bit more move-in ready, even though there's always work to do, might be better. Look for water. Water is essential to life. If you don't have water, you can't grow any vegetables. You can't have water from your own well to drink. Water is the basis for everything. And really lean into the process, because I used to work in education as well, and it's really a lot of hard work, and for everyone you kind of get that, you need to be working all the time, otherwise you're not productive, you're not doing anything, and then you kind of start to feel useless. So it takes a little bit of time to move into the mindset of slowing down and doing what you can every day, and also accepting that sometimes things are just hard, and that's okay. It really takes a little bit of a mindset change to make this happen, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I think that's really good advice. So I'd like to thank you so much for
you're welcome.
Being prepared to be interviewed for my channel. And I'd like to tell people out there to support your Patreon so you can get your new tools that you are needing. And I wish you all the best, and I'll keep on following your channel and being a fan of all you are doing. It's quite inspirational, and it's definitely motivating me to get off my couch and do something. Watching
that's
hard work.
Yeah, I hope you can make it to Portugal sometime this summer.
I'm hoping so. I'm just hoping, because I've got appointments set up with estate agents. I've looked at Remax, Remax and Era are the two agents that I've been looking at. I'm a bit nervous about using agencies that aren't like well known internationally, because I have heard some horror stories. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck. I know because my friend I was telling you about, because he speaks Portuguese, he was watching one of the videos that OK Portugal had put out when they were busy looking at some property. And he could actually hear the owner of the property and the agent having a conversation in Portuguese. And luckily, they never went for that farm, because the conversation he was hearing was, oh, you'll never be able to build on this property because it's this Wren property. But they were telling him in English, oh, there's no problem, you can build on the property. So yeah, they dodged a bullet with that one. So I've got to be very careful. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah, so that's why it's good to talk to other people and maybe buy something that already has a small house on it, because then you can move into there, and really just use common sense, because always when something sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Because things do cost money, so if it's like super cheap, or they're really like trying to sell you the property, it's probably something wrong with it.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm planning on spending 10 days in Castelo Branco looking at properties. So
yeah,
but I'll be in Portugal for the whole summer, because yeah, one needs I've been trapped in Norway now since February.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
Welcome.
And take care, and keep on doing the good work you're doing over there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for having me. I'm sure we'll talk again. And good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You can follow Leah and her lovely family on Our Portuguese Homestead on Facebook, and keep up to date with what's happening in their lives. You can also follow Leah on Instagram, and she posts lots of pictures as well of the different work that they are doing on their farm. And you can follow Leah on Patreon and become a Patreon, and see how you can help them create this beautiful, sustainable farm.